Welcome back to the Late Night Gamer and turn 3 of Prussia 20, a part in the Napoleonic 20 series from Victory Point Games. Let's flip this country over to the French side and we will start the evening turn. It's an evening turn, evening of the 13th of October. So let's do the random events. Le Voy, no, I won't even try to pronounce that French title there. I have no idea what it means, but it says in plain English, at least in the yellow or in the blue box, you may immediately reveal all concealed enemy units within 4 hexes of a French unit. Well, that's interesting, but I'm not playing with that rule, so we go to the or. The Prussian player chooses one of your units not in an enemy zone of control, and it gains 1 to its movement allowance this turn. Yeah, that's a strange event. So the Prussian player would say then that this unit here will get a +1 movement because it won't move far anyway, and it's not in an enemy zone of control. Movement for Napoleon and his men. Although the Prussian objectives are quite far from here, they're up here. Okay, let me think about it. Lannes will move into hex 310. Yeah. And because it enters an enemy zone of control, it must immediately stop. So it forfeits all of the movement points it has left, even the extra one given to me by the Prussian player. But I created a situation here where I would like to battle these 2 units here. Okay? The only way I can be a part of the battle is actually to move here and try to hit this guy. But that's a tough one because the defensive value of the rough here is quite high. At least I think it's a rough. Yeah, I can't find I can't find that that terrain on the terrain chart, but I think it's a rough. This is what I think it is, rough. There are no others, other terrain that are similar. Open, not forest, not open, not forest, not march. Maybe rough, no town, not this thing here. It's not fortified, no road, no key features, no upslope. No up steep slope, no rivers, no bridge, no ford. Enemy zone of control. Okay, that's just a reminder to make me stop there. And that's all the terrain that's there, so it has to be rough, right? That's, in the very least, I will treat it as rough. So that means that this guy has a combat value of 3 and a defensive of 2. That's a 5. But maybe I can move another unit in here as well. Yeah, and so, okay, I will try to do that. I will take out Napoleon. I will use him in battle, I think. No, actually, stop, I will leave Napoleon. Napoleon is going to stay put in Jena. And the unit is moving here. Has to stop because it enters an enemy zone of control. So I can move through units as long as I don't stop in the hex because I can't stack. So 1, 2, 3, and I will have to stop because of the zone of control. And I'm moving the garrison in here. So the reinforcements come on. Slightly error. It doesn't. The wood people, they do not come on here in area B, but in area D. And that area is way over here. That's D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into Hassenhausen. And this guy has 1, 2, 3. Same as the wood, but he will have to stop there. Okay, so the plan with these French units, the woods, and the plan is to move here and face the Prussian army that is trying to exit through this location here. So now we're in the Prussian reaction phase, and he has one cavalry that is in an enemy zone of control. So if this French unit was a cavalry, the Prussian player could not react. Presumably the mobility of the enemy cavalry is equal that of the Prussian cavalry, so there is no advantage of being mobile. But now the Prussian player can choose to either counter-strike, attack Lannes, that's suicide I guess, or it can try to disengage. But then this battle is more open. Alternatively, it can move into this enemy zone of control, try to do that. But there is no reason to do that either. No, I think he will just stay put and take his chances. What can you do? So we have to declare battles. The French player is the attacker, and he needs to attack every unit that is in his own zone of control. And we can see that the terrain underneath here is just open, so there is no zone of control effect on terrains. If this was a city, then or a fortified city, then there would be some different rules coming out. And if there was a river, that would block zone of control. You don't have to attack and stuff like that. But it's not, it's just open terrain. So Lannes has to attack both of these units. That's fine, he will do that. The other attack will be, these two French units will attack Gravert here up on the hill. Gravert. Is it German, no? Gravert? I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. But anyway, there will be a combat here as well, where the Prussian will be facing these two French units. Let's do the top one first. Then the attacker will see if his units are in command. In command is only applicable when you attack and not when you defend. So he will see if Lannes is in command of a commander, and Napoleon is down in Jena. Napoleon has an extreme command rating of 3. 1, 2, 3, so Lannes is in command. If it wasn't in command, there will be a -1 on the die roll. The attacker determines if he wants to commit reserves. And I think actually the attacker will do that. He will spend a morale point, committing reserves to the battle. Then the defender decides, well, the defender would check for defensive bonuses due to terrain, but both his units are out in the open, so there is no defensive bonuses there. But he will have to reply and also commit reserves. Try to equal out that difference or that advantage that the French player have just announced. Then one of the units in the battle here are unreliable. They are yellow, so they need to figure out if they have waivers, if they are really going to fight full strength or not. And basically, what we do is to roll a die, and any results other than 1 will have no effect. So if it's I have to also subtract 1 from the die result if the morale of the Prussian player is less than of the French. But they have the same morale. So I will roll a die, and I got a 4, so it's not a problem. There is no effect of the unreliable troop. Then we calculate combat strength, and that's just to look at the number. The combat strength of Lannes is 4, and the combat strength of the defender is 3. So if there were defensive bonuses, that will add to the combat strength of the defender. So the committing of the reserves gave both of them a +1 to combat strength. So that means that the French player has 5 and the other player, the Prussian player, has 4. So that's a net of +1 to the attacker. So then the procedure is like this. I will roll a die on the +1 column, and I will, apply the result here according to what I get. This is attacker withdrawal, this is neutral, this is defender withdrawal, and defender roots. So let's see what we get. We roll the die. Oops, that's a good result for the French player. He got a 6. Oops, sorry, that should be a 6. And that is defender rooted, DR. So the way this works is that I have to roll a die now for each of the units in battle that is rooted, and I will have to withdraw them as many spaces as the die roll. So let's roll for the guy here first, the top guy. He gets a 4. He has to retreat 4 spaces, and the rules is basically says that it has to retreat towards our line of communication, which is in this direction. So he will just move back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, putting him up in Kapellendorf. I will put on a rooted marker with the brown side up. Yeah, I have to put up the side which belongs to the opposing player, because I will remove markers with my own color after combat. So basically this rooted marker will stay on for an entire turn. It's rooted. It has half combat strength. It cannot move forward if it decides to move, and it has no zone of control. So the enemy unit had to retreat more than its movement allowance, and that is a big defeat. So the Prussian army loses 1 morale. It's down to 6. And then I have to roll for the cavalry here, and I get a 2. So they have to retreat 2 hexes towards the line of communication. This unit has to retreat, and there is a line of communication up here. There is another Prussian line of communication here. Yeah, so it has to retreat towards either one of those line of communications, meaning it can retreat in this direction, but it cannot retreat across this river here. So it's not really a good option to go there. It has to stay away from the enemy zone of control, so it can't go there either. It can go through friendly hexes, friendly enemy hexes, or so friendly unit hexes, and so it can actually retreat here. I think it'll do that, and it has to be rooted as well. Right, so that's a good retreat path for that Prussian army. Now the French guy here can decide if he wants to advance after combat or not. Yeah. So say that this was a cavalry unit, then it could actually follow through the retreat path of the Prussian unit that went all the way up here, as long as as long as the French unit does not exceed its movement. So it will actually follow up here. But this is not a cavalry unit, it's an infantry unit, so basically it can enter one of these 2 hexes here. And I think it makes sense to enter 409. No, maybe not. I have to think about the command, but only for attack, so I have to move Napoleon, but that's okay, I can do that. I'm following into 409 with Lannes, threatening Kapellendorf. Okay, because there was a battle now, I will have to put on a tired marker. The first level of fatigue is with no markers, and then after 1 battle they will get the ready marker on, not the tired marker that will come in after the second battle. So now the units that participate in the battle are ready. 6 combat value for the French. And they are of course in command of Napoleon, no problems there. And they will spend a morale, they're down to 6 now, to commit reserves. So that's 7. forcing the Prussian player to do the same, I guess. But that will put him down to 5 morale. So the lower end. Okay, so let's see. Now the French player has 7 combat strength. The Prussian player has 3, but he is up on this rough terrain, which is a combat modifier of 2, so that gives him 5 combat strength. 6, 7 to 5, that's a +2. The Prussian player will commit a morale point as well, and that means the French advantage is +1. And the die, oh, it's a very bad roll, it's a 1. And it's such a bad roll that you can't imagine. It's actually attacker withdraws. It means that the attacker has to withdraw 1 hex. But, well, they have to withdraw, yeah. Oh, it's a problem for Ney to withdraw. First, can't go there. This guy has only one option, has to stay away from enemy zone controls. Can't go there because that's not towards a line of communication. So it have to go to 2012 or 0212. It's not rooted though, so that's fine. This guy though has to go 1 step closer to a line of communication. There's one here, but it cannot cross the river. There's a line of communication in this direction as well, so it can actually go here, and that's what it will do. It stays within an enemy zone of control though, so that will have some bad effects. So this is called a hazardous retreat. It entered an enemy zone of control, it has to roll a die. On the result of 1, 2, 3, it will break. Of course it breaks. So it is removed from the map and put in a break pile, if you like. French loses 1 morale because of breaking of its unit. The guys involved in battle gets a ready marker. So, well, 1 battle went well, the other one went bad for the French player. Of course, the Prussian player will not advance after combat, because then it will give up its fantastic defensive position. Okay, that's it for the French player. We will flip the game turn marker and play the Prussian player. We will start with the event. Choose one of your units that is not in an enemy zone control. If it does not end its move in an enemy zone control, it increases its movement allowance by 1 this turn. I will choose the cadre here. I will move now with cavalry with 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 extra because it's on the road. Try to see if I can do something with the French objective. Other units, 1, 2, 3. Just keep moving on the road. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And this guy goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I moved all of these units. I can't move this guy because then it have to move towards a retreat path. Same with this guy, he will stay put. I can always choose not to move them. He's in enemy zone control, he has to stay where he is. Okay, so this guy here, he will move into this hex like that. This is an elite unit, so he will move into this hex here for a battle here. The guy here with extra movement is going to run 1, 2, 3 for the road and 1 extra because of the event card. That's the end of the movement phase. Now let's see, there is no French cavalry, so there is no French reactions. There's only 1 combat, and that's here. Let's zoom in. The 2 Prussian units. Combat strength 5 is attacking a French with combat strength 4 open. Because I only have 5 morale points left, I will not commit reserves. And they are in command, at least one of the units here are in command. We can see that this commander cannot command this unit, but requirements is really that only one of your units in the battle has to be in command. And that's true for the reserve cavalry or reserve infantry here, so they're in command. There's no negative effect then. This is an elite unit, and I will roll to see if it gets additional strength. I rolled a 3, so that's a no effect. Only a 6 gives a positive effect here. And don't commit anything, and the French player do not commit the reserves either, so that's a +1 for the Prussian army. And they got a 4, and that's a defender withdrawal. It means that the defender has to withdraw 1 hex. Oh, can he go there? Big question if he has to retreat to an enemy zone of control. So let's count the hexes. You can see that there's a line of communication down here, so the route has to be 1 hex closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not, so this is not an eligible hex to route into or withdraw into. It has to retreat into 0310. That is a dangerous retreat. Again with the die roll, it's a 3, so it breaks. French loses 1 more morale, down to 4. And the Prussian unit is advancing after combat. Then the Prussian, or the units with the brown route marker, loses their route marker. The units committed to battle gets a ready marker, and the units with a ready marker that did not do anything loses that ready marker. Refreshes 1, so that is the same as losing it. Okay, so that is ending the phase, except one thing which I did wrong. That's the morale. The Prussian players should gain a morale whenever they broke a unit, so they gain 2 morale because they broke 2 units. In addition to the French player that loses a morale when he breaks one of his own, so the gap here is quite big now in favor of the Prussian player. The French has only 4 morale. Okay, so just a note on the fatigue markers. It says that each unit that participates in a battle will increase its fatigue, and the recovery says that at the end of your combat phase, your units that has a fatigue marker on it and it's not adjacent to an enemy unit will reduce its fatigue. So the only requirement then to reduce fatigue is that you are not adjacent to an enemy unit. One can argue that these units are not adjacent to an enemy unit after combat, so the rules are a little bit ambiguous there. I'm not sure if they can gain a fatigue and reduce the fatigue marker in the same round. The rule seems to indicate that, but it doesn't make sense to me. So keeping them on and ending the turn.